Mentor Mike. Today we have Kayla joining us from Clothes Mentor in Plano, Texas. Kayla opened her own Clothes Mentor location in October of 2025, and she is the definition of a girl boss. She's built something really amazing in Plano, and I cannot wait for you to hear her story today. So if you've ever wondered what it's like to own a Clothes Mentor or you're just looking for a little inspiration, you're going to love this conversation. Now let's dive in. Hi, Kayla.
Ashley, how are you?
Doing good. How's life down in Texas?
Hot.
Yeah, but I can only imagine it's super hot here in the Midwest as well. So Texas, can't imagine right now.
Yeah, I think there's a heat wave going on everywhere today. It says that it's gonna feel like 111, which is insanity. Yeah. So
Ooh.
staying cool inside only.
Melting.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Why don't you start by giving us a little bit of background about yourself before Close Mentor?
Yeah. So, long story short, if there is a way to do that, I got my first experience in resale mid college. So that's kind of where I got my experience to work at a men's consignment store, which is completely unheard of in most other places, but it was a
Uh,
very well run store. I got to work with the owner, and he just showed me a lot. And I remember coming home to my dad after my second day of work and saying, I think I kind of want to own my own store one day. And that was kind of something that I said in passing. I never really spoke much about it after that. And 14 years later, here I am. I also work for various other resale stores, a luxury handbag store before here for about 6 years. And as soon as I graduated college, I also worked for a resale handbag store. So a couple of different resale industry experience before I got to Close Mentor.
yeah, that's awesome. Now, did you ever imagine yourself owning a business, especially back then, when you were working for other people in resale? Did you always envision yourself as a business owner?
Yeah, so just kind of going back to what I have initially felt because I loved the first resale store job so much. But again, it
Hmm.
was kind of like first day jitters, second day jitters, right? I just loved it and it felt like the right concept, at least to continue in my career. But the actual owning of a business, yes and no. I envisioned it and I also felt like maybe not. It may just be too hard or it may not be the right opportunity. I'm not sure. So it was kind of something that I bounced around with thinking about, but it didn't really feel like I was going to do it until I actually did it. So,
Yeah, that's amazing. And what made Close Mentor feel like the right opportunity? And how did you find Close Mentor? Were you a shopper before?
yeah, that's a great question. So, my parents live in Michigan, and my mom got her first opportunity to work for a clothes mentor in Rochester Hills. And she just would tell me about this store all the time, how she found such great deals and she met such great people. And
Hmm.
she just really loved like the connections that she was making. And I just decided to ask her a little more, like, when did the store open? How did you discover it? And I just kind of started to interview my mom because she would say
Yeah.
how much she loved this clothes mentor store that she worked at. And one thing led to another, and my wheels got to turning. I decided to visit the Clothes Mentor website myself and just submit some information. I talked to my husband about it, and he's like, "Yeah, like go for it. Just at least get some information, what you."
Hmm.
And kind of went from there. And also, I will say, when I went to visit my parents, maybe 6 months after my mom initially told me about her part-time job,
Yeah.
I fell in love with the store when I went to visit the store that she was working at. I've been to various different resale chains all across the country, and as soon as I walked in that store, something about it just drew me in, and I had to
Just
know
meant
more.
to be.
Yeah, just meant to
Wow,
be.
that is really amazing. I mean, I'm sure your mom is just so proud of you now. And, from her working part time to you owning a store, that is an amazing journey. I love that. And I feel like it was really meant to be. Did you have any doubts before saying yes to opening up a close mentor?
No. So interestingly enough, I tend to overthink lots of different things in my life. And
Hmm.
as soon as I submitted my information to the Clothes Mentor franchise and had my first call, to get the information. It just went so smoothly after
Mhm.
that. And it just felt like a very organic process. I didn't really have any doubts at all. I just felt that it was the right opportunity to pursue. Um,
Mhm.
and here I am.
That's amazing. What was the opening process really like? Was there a lot of steps? Did it feel really overwhelming? Just kind of walk us through that journey a little bit.
Yeah. After things started to get rolling in terms of all the paperwork and working
Mhm.
with, financing and just everything in between, I would say once it got to open to buy, that's when it got a little bit more real,
Yeah.
because it was just a lot of moving parts, right? I'm a brand new business owner, though, as I stated before, I'm not new to the resale industry.
Yeah.
I'm completely green when it comes to owning my own business. And so just learning all the inner workings from the hiring to the inventory to the fixtures,
Yeah.
all the things that go into owning a business that I just had no idea about. It's almost as if I had to completely wipe my slate clean and learn a whole new way of doing things. But I will say the awesome thing about that is at that point in my life, which this is about 8 to 10 months ago now, when this process started, I was really eager to grow as a
Yeah.
person, in my career. I really felt that I had mastered, my previous experience. And
Yeah.
so jumping in head first to owning a store it was such a sweet spot for me in my life because I was ready to take on more responsibility. Though I underestimated the amount of responsibility it would entail,
Mhm.
I just was thrilled to have all this new knowledge coming in, and I just tried to take it one day at a time to,
Yeah.
learn everything that I could little by little.
Definitely. I could tell that you were ready for that growth because you handled everything with such grace. You just mastered everything. That's why I called you the girl boss in the beginning because everything you did, you just did it with such stride. And it was just amazing watching your journey, within the last year or so with this because I can tell that you wanted this project and you feel everything was meant to be. I love hearing your story because it's just so fun to listen to. What is your favorite part about owning a close mentor?
Gosh, I would say my favorite part about owning a closed mentor is the overwhelming welcoming response that we've gotten from the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Just it never gets old when someone walks into the store and you can tell that it's their first time, right? So we just want to shower them with all the love and tell them all the things closed mentor. And there's this specific thing that new customers do when they walk in to where you could tell. So
Yeah.
kinda walk in, they scan the room, and it's like they're taking it all in, and it just forces us to ask them, "Is this your first time?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's my
Yeah.
first time. My friend just told me about it. I just drove by and discovered it." Whatever the reasons are, which we try to find out that as well. What brought you here is always the next
Mhm.
question. But yeah, that's my favorite part is just seeing like the joy and excitement of like that first time customer.
Definitely, and I feel like they're surprised in a good way because closed mentor stores, they look different. They don't look like a thrift store. They don't look like other resale stores. And it's a mix between resale and retail. So they walk in, they're like, wow, this is beautiful. I mean, look at all this clothes. This is secondhand. So
Yeah,
that would be really exciting just to see the look in their eyes when they walk through. And there's so many amazing products. Like, where do I start? I
yeah,
personally always start at that handbag wall. That's where I'm going to run to. But oh,
exactly. Same.
Yep, definitely. Now, for the next question, how has this business changed your life? Now, that's a big question.
Yeah, that's a loaded one for sure. Um, Gosh, how has this business changed my life? I would say it has just really humbled me in a way that I couldn't imagine. I talked about, the seeing the first time customers light up as soon as they walk in the store. And it just feels like so humbling to be able to be the person that thought of this store being in this area at this time. And just knowing that I was a small part of bringing this store to life. And it started with just, the little entrepreneur feeling inside of me. And then now I get to be here to witness it. So that has been super life changing. I would say too, just all of my employees. I have such a great team of people. I could not ask for a better team. I have about 7 employees and they are just awesome. They love the store, they care about the store. They give me so many ideas. They notice things in the store that embarrassingly enough, sometimes I don't even and they're like, "What about this? What about that?" So just getting all their feedback and giving them an opportunity to use their skills and be an asset to the store and make it that much better, that's been super life changing as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's a family feel, within the store with your employees and with your community too. Like you're a piece of Plano now. And I can really see that within your social media, being across the country. We can see that and feel that. And I feel like that's what really sets Close Mentor apart from being different. It just gives that local feel, which is huge. Now, if your younger self, young Kayla, could see you today, what would she say?
My goodness. So, I don't know if you saw the trend that was happening on social media where people were doing the, like,
Yes.
their younger self talking to their older self and vice versa, and gosh, it's, like, so triggering to watch other people's stories because it's like, "Oh my gosh," like, it makes you look in the mirror, like, "What would I do to
Mhm.
my younger self?" Right?
Yeah.
And so I definitely think my younger self would be astounded at what her older self has been able to achieve at
Mhm.
what I like to think is a pretty young age. I'm only
Mhm.
33, I'll be 34 next month.
Mhm.
And, it just still feels so, surreal that I have this opportunity in front of me, and our store is such a baby, it still
Yeah.
has so much more to, accomplish, and I think, yeah, my younger self would be just shocked and in disbelief that this is even possible, and to impact a city like Plano in the way that we have in such a short time, and we still have so much more to go. I think it's just incredible, and my younger self would be super proud and again in disbelief for sure.
Definitely. No, it's amazing. It seriously is. That trend is definitely like a tearjerker
Yes,
to
it
seeing,
is.
looking back at our past selves. And like you said, you are very young to be a business owner. So you should be very proud of yourself. And that's why I love your story because it's super encouraging. Close Mentor is a women's brand. We're all about empowering women. You do that every day with, your business page, with you personally. Just a great story to share. Now, last question. What would you tell people watching this who are thinking, maybe I could do that too?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So one of my employees, which I won't call her out, but she kind of alluded to this recently of just wanting to know my story. And she has some similar goals and aspirations as well.
Mhm.
And I told her verbatim, I'm happy to share my story with anyone who cares to listen. And I would just tell that to anyone, right? If I can do it, anyone can do it. Timing is everything. And I am a woman of faith. So I do believe that that has been a huge, like, the way I've been led down this path for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but I would just say that, again, if I can do it, you can do it. And it doesn't make the process any easier. It doesn't mean that things are going to go the way you may have planned. You may have to get ready for some bumps in the road. But if you're a risk taker and you're willing to try a new venture, then I think it's completely worth it. And
Mhm.
you'll know when the timing is right to go for it. So
Yes, definitely. No, that is great advice. I feel inspired.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Kayla. I really, really appreciate your time today. Now, this is Kayla from Close Mentor in Plano, Texas. So go give her a follow, Facebook, Instagram. She's there for you. Thank you so much, Kayla.
Thank you, Ashley. Appreciate it.